TikTok has officially banned the hashtag SkinnyTok after much concern was raised about its potential to promote disordered eating to young, impressionable users on the platform. This was after a long campaign and investigation actually done by the EU regulators, and they basically made it so that if you search for SkinnyTok on TikTok, this is the page you'll land on. It says if you or someone you know has questions about body image, food, or exercise, it's important to know that help is out there and you're not alone. If you feel comfortable, you can confide in someone you trust or check out the resources below. Please remember to take care of yourselves and each other. And then it gives you the hotline for the National Alliance for Eating Disorders. So it just says if you have questions about losing weight, get help, because you shouldn't do that. Like, if you want to improve your life, you should get psychiatric evaluation.
So is
because why else would you want to do that?
So is like obese talk okay?
Of course.
Of course, body positive, all of those things, those are still allowed. Skinny talk is officially banned earlier this month, and they gave a statement from a spokesperson for TikTok. We regularly review our safety measures to address evolving risks and have blocked search results for Skinny Talk since it became linked to unhealthy weight loss content. And I think you could probably frame it that way for literally any trending term. You could say that there was violative content on any trending hashtag or term on that platform. I think the reality is here, China just wants us to be fat, and they are sabotaging us. But you can't do anything to stop the Skinny Talk movement, as there is now a trend of mean girl wellness becoming more popular for women.
What was the what was the store that had like the skinny doors so that you couldn't go in unless you were a certain
they
size?
say that Brandy Melville, yeah, they say Brandy Melville has narrow doorways because their clientele is skinny and they want to feel like it's an exclusive club.
It's amazing.
Please tell me you saw the documentary they did about Brandy Melville.
I did.
Brandy Hellville. I was so excited to watch this because they built this up in the marketing like there was some cult being run from this store. And I was like, ooh, I got to watch this. What was this store doing? And I watched like 4 or 5 hours of this series, and it amounts to they hired skinny models, too many white people worked there, and the owner voted for Trump. Yep. And that's why Brandy Hellville.
And they did the same expose on Abercrombie and Fitch because they would hire models and they would hire people they considered effable to be their sales associates back in the 2000s. It was a whole thing.
What, are they gonna hire fat slobs?
And then Abercrombie and Fitch nuked their brand value because they were trying to be woke, and it didn't work out for them. But Mean Girl Wellness is this movement toward essentially tough love when it comes to weight loss and self-improvement. Usually you don't see that for women. You don't see it, women being targeted with tough love. That's more of a kind of disposition that you would see in male fitness influencers, like man up, toughen up, do what it takes, wake up at 5 a.m., you know, that type of thing. But women are starting to find that more appealing.
Is there like a really skinny female David Goggins to yell at you?
Well, it's Liv Schmidt.
Okay.
Liv Schmidt is the most famous Skinny Talk influencer who was actually banned for, I think this was like 8 months ago, for promoting disordered eating on TikTok.
She was banned on TikTok.
Permanently.
Do you have a picture of her? I'm fascinated now to see what she looks like. Is she like
we'll
Karen
pull up
Carpenter
some
skinny
pictures.
or just normal?
Well, we have the video.
Yeah, this is a response that she gave to an expose published in The Cut about her skinny society. They claim that her subscriber-only platform is promoting eating disorders and encouraging people to eat as little as possible, which she says in this clip is totally unfounded and false journalism.
Skinny society because I genuinely felt like I was the only girl who ever struggled with food in their body. I was obsessed with trying to lose weight, stuck in this cycle of restriction, diets, frustration, and failure. While everyone else made it look easy and effortless, nothing worked and it made me feel broken and alone. So I built the one thing I needed, a space where women could talk about it and
I love that she spells skinny with an I.
Yes, that is part of her
support
brand.
each other freely and
Probably a
finally
heart
be in
over the
control
eye.
of their bodies again, without judgment. The media tried to turn it into something dangerous. They ran with the headline, that we were trying to tell each other to eat as little as possible, that we encouraged each other to restrict, deprive ourselves, only eat lettuce and air, when we were just girls encouraging each other to be our best selves, to live light, to only eat when hungry. But let's be honest, if they actually wanted the truth, they could have spoken to any of the 7,000 plus women inside. They didn't. They pulled quotes from Reddit, from anonymous accounts with bad intention. Not one real member, not one real conversation. That's not journalism, that's clickbait dressed as concern. What they missed were messages from hundreds of women, many who were obese.
Hundreds of women?
Women who almost didn't join because the internet told them it was toxic. I was scared to join because I thought it would be disordered, but I joined anyway. Now I'm finally at a healthy BMI range. My blood work is finally normal. My doctor asked what I was doing, and I told them I finally found a system that works. That's what they were almost scared out of. Because of headlines, because of lazy narratives, because the word skinny makes people feel uncomfortable. But instead, the journalist pulled quotes from Reddit for intent to slander. Not understand. They didn't ask for blood work, progress, or truth. They didn't want facts. They wanted a villain. This is what got taken away because of a headline. It's not my community that's dangerous. What's dangerous is a culture that censors women for wanting to be skinny and saying it, for wanting to be lighter, for wanting to better themselves. What's dangerous is telling women that taking care of their body makes them bad people, that weight loss is shameful, that wanting to feel better is oppressive. That's the lie. That's the harm. God forbid there is a community of women bettering themselves. God forbid women choose structure over chaos. God forbid women want to feel empowered in their bodies. They call it toxic, I call it honest. They call it triggering, I call it effective. Next time, do your research. Ask the girls inside. We're not starving. We're thriving. The skinny society is not the problem, it's the solution. When no one else is brave enough to tell the truth.
I felt like AI wrote that.
I was just gonna ask, is this broad AI too?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was clearly a script that she wrote for the video, and she was responding to this piece written by a journalist named E.J. Dixon. She showed a screenshot
Probably
of
a fat alphabet person.
The email that was sent to her by this journalist asking for comment, which she did not provide, said, the journalist said, I myself have struggled with eating disorders. That's why I'm interested in this story. So you're going into it with a bias and an agenda. And that is to frame all weight loss content as toxic and oppressive and dangerous. And it got to the point where they have banned this trending term, SkinnyTok, that was in part popularized by Liv Schmidt herself. The headline says, it's like this little cult of being skinny. Inside Liv Schmidt's subscriber-only group, members encourage one another to eat as little as possible. And one of the subscribers, or former subscribers, gave an interview here. A woman named Emma, a 37-year-old teacher. They say she broke up with her boyfriend last year after he had often taunted her for her weight, leaving snarky Post-it notes on her clothes and telling her she needed to eat better. He told me I was so fat that no one else would ever love me.
What?
After they broke up, his words still haunted her, and she spent a lot of time scrolling through SkinnyTok, a growing community of weight loss influencers where she found Liv Schmidt. And she says there were sayings on SkinnyTok such as, what's this one? You are not a dog. You don't need a snack. Eat small, be small. And of course, the iconic Kate Moss line, nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. And she said she was essentially indoctrinated into this insane cult where all of these women are obsessed with food and how to not eat it.
Okay, this chick over under 300 pounds. I'm guessing over.
We won't know because she kept herself anonymous in this article.
That's
but
why.
I think we can gather that at the very least, she was someone who wanted to free herself from the pressures of basic self-improvement, right? Like, I think that's a safe guess. She joined this group because she wanted to lose weight. She felt like she wasn't good enough and then needed to go on the revenge path and cast Liv Schmidt as a maniacal villain cackling behind the scenes. And, you know, she's essentially a cult leader now. That's what they're framing her as in this article.
You will be fat, you will be trans, you will eat the bugs, you will own nothing, and you will be happy.
That's what it is. Is it not? I mean, I think that women are, as you can tell by the popularity of someone like Liv Schmidt, they're tired of body positivity. And if all things were fair, body positivity hashtags would be banned on TikTok, because that can be dangerous as well. You could say anything is dangerous. You could say any of these trends are leading to people, you know, shortening their lifespans and quality of life.
Well, how many of these body positive whales who were influencers for that have dropped dead?
So many, actually. I don't know any examples off the top of my head, but I remember Blair White making a video with just a compilation of each and every last one of these body positive activists who literally just died young, very young, sometimes in their 20s. And there's no answer for that. There's no justice. There's no EU investigation in the regulatory agencies. There's no social media censorship. It's only when it comes to people wanting to lose weight. Her target demographic is overweight women, not skinny women who are trying to kill themselves.
Also, are there that really, like, okay, I understand some people have eating disorders, but are there really that many of them at this moment in time? Because it seems like everybody's just fat.
When you go outside, that's what you see.
Yeah, I see a lot more fat people than emaciated people.
I'm just like going off of my lived experience here. When I leave the house, I'm not seeing a bunch of emaciated young girls who are obsessing over calories. I'm seeing a morbidly obese society.
Yeah.
That probably needs influencers like this.
Is it just about eating, or do they talk about other stuff? Like, does it have to do with like your fitness regimen? Or
she talks a lot about, you know, like walking instead of driving places, and she talks about portion control. She says, you know, like, I eat whatever I want. I just don't eat overly much. Like, she just says, you know, I don't eat past the point of feeling uncomfortable with how much food is in my stomach.
Yeah,
which is just like weight loss 101.
There's a dislike for taking your own future in your own hands and holding yourself accountable, which people don't like, which is a more, you know, generally male trait for something like this, which would be to hold yourself to account and not just let yourself become a slob. And, you know, but then you go down the alt-right pipeline of wanting to not be fat.
Right. Yeah. How dare you?
Like, that fitness is a right-wing concept.
Yeah, you know. And it's not just fitness, but beauty standards in general. You know, like, I've seen a lot of people joke about how, like, the gym is the start to the alt-right pipeline. And it's gonna make you into a fascist if you lift weights and read books. But the same thing is true of certain communities formed by women for women at this point. And I think this is mostly just panic being drummed up by the journalist class who are trying to concern troll about it, make some kind of, you know, anorexic panic where it doesn't exist. It's like a satanic panic. There's no evidence for it. And it's a shame because I follow Liv Schmidt, and I haven't seen anything from her that I would consider like crossing the line and encouraging people to hurt themselves. I've only seen very normal content about, like, maybe you don't need to eat the whole cake. Like, it's just about, like, doing something that is not only going to make you look better, but feel better. I don't know what all these people were referring to, and as I re-downloaded TikTok recently, I didn't realize there was this much outrage around this one person, this one influencer. I've seen videos that have gotten hundreds of thousands of likes on TikTok from young women who are saying Liv Schmidt is a danger to society. I'm just not seeing it.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.